The morning sun was sharp and bright, cutting through the cold winter air as people rushed along the busy sidewalks of Harbor Street. Cars honked, vendors shouted, and life moved in its usual hurried rhythm, until something unexpected shattered the flow. Near the entrance of a quiet community park, a frail little girl with tangled sandy hair and dusty cheeks stood barefoot on the pavement. Her clothes were thin, her hands trembling, and yet she guarded a small cardboard box as though it were treasure. People passed her without a glance, except for one person, a 12-year-old boy named Rowan, who stopped the moment their eyes met. That single glance felt like the world paused, as if fate had reached out and stitched two strangers together. Viewers, before the story unfolds, if you believe in kindness, compassion, and second chances, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Good Soul. Your support helps us spread stories that keep humanity alive. Rowan had always been a quiet child, sensitive in ways that worried his parents, Marcus and Helena. They had brought him to the park for fresh air, hoping to pull him out of the emotional heaviness he'd been drowning in since the passing of his grandfather. But as soon as Rowan saw the little girl clutching her cardboard box, he felt drawn to her, as if something inside him recognized a pain he'd been trying so hard to hide. Helena hesitated, unsure if they should approach, but Rowan walked toward the girl with a gentle slowness, like approaching a frightened bird. The girl stiffened, almost ready to run, but Rowan offered her a small, fragile smile. She lifted the lid of the box with trembling fingers. Inside was a tiny injured pigeon, its wing bent, its chest rising and falling with uneven breaths. Rowan's heart clenched. The girl whispered her name softly, Aria, and told him she had found the bird behind a dumpster 2 nights ago. She had been sleeping behind the same dumpster herself, hoping Northwest One would drive her away this time. She said she didn't have food, she didn't have a home, but she couldn't let the bird die alone. Those words hit Rowan like a blow to the chest. Marcus and Helena exchanged worried glances, unsure how to handle the situation, but something about Aria's voice, small, hoarse, and trembling, pulled at them in a way that felt deeply personal. Rowan crouched beside her and placed his hand gently over the box, as if promising silently that she wasn't alone anymore. As the day grew warmer, they persuaded Aria to come with them to a nearby cafe. She resisted at first, afraid of being a burden, but Rowan's earnest eyes and warm encouragement finally convinced her. Inside the cafe, she ate slowly, almost reverently, as though she feared the food would vanish if she blinked. Rowan kept watching her with protective tenderness, as if the little girl he'd met only minutes ago had become someone important, someone he needed to save, even though he didn't know why. Helena found herself wiping tears discreetly. There was something about Aria that reminded her of Rowan when he had first lost his grandfather, quiet, scared, wandering in grief. A part of her wondered whether helping Aria might also help her son heal a wound she had never been able to reach. But the real turning point came when Rowan asked Aria if she wanted to come home with them, just for the day, just to rest. Marcus hesitated, but Helena took a deep breath and nodded. They brought her home, let her bathe, gave her clean clothes, and even called a local vet to help the injured pigeon. Aria watched everything with wide eyes full of disbelief, as though kindness was something she'd only ever seen from a distance. As the hours passed, Rowan and Aria sat in the living room floor, fixing a small temporary nest for the pigeon. Aria's hands shook less now, her breathing eased, her eyes softer. It was the first time in a long while she had felt safe. Rowan, watching her laugh quietly at the bird's tiny movements, suddenly felt something shift inside his heart, like a heavy curtain had been lifted. The grief he'd carried for months loosened. Aria didn't just need saving, she was saving him too. The unbelievable moment came when the vet returned later in the afternoon with news. The pigeon would survive. Aria broke down into tears, not of sadness, but relief so profound it shook her entire body. And in that moment, Helena made a choice she didn't know she'd been building toward all day. She knelt in front of Aria and asked her, with a voice soft as sunlight, if she would like to stay with them a while longer. Maybe not just today. Maybe for a long time. Maybe, as family. Aria froze, then threw her arms around Helena, sobbing into her shoulder. Rowan joined them, wrapping them both gently, as Marcus stood in the doorway wiping his eyes, pretending he wasn't crying too. Sometimes love arrives in the most unexpected form, a little girl, barefoot and afraid, holding a cardboard box. And sometimes, that love touches the heart of a grieving boy and brings a family back to life. If this story touched your heart, please like the video, share it, and subscribe to Good Soul so more people can experience stories filled with hope and humanity. Before you go, drop a comment telling us what moment moved you the most. Your words might inspire someone else today.